It's tech show season. I'm Bonnie Gauss with Skellig Automation, and today we're going to talk about industry tech shows. This is mostly going to be for the life sciences, but I'm going to be honest. I've been to tech shows for life sciences and also just like general industry conferences, and they're all pretty much the same. First, we're going to cover a couple things that you're going to want to bring with you. Some of these are pretty obvious. Obviously, you want to bring your ID and your travel documents if you have any, like if you're traveling from out of the country. Another thing you're going to want to bring with you is business cards. There are a couple kinds of business cards. Often your company will just give them to you so you don't have to worry about it. I found that coming back to tech shows, people aren't just using the paper ones though. They're also using digital business cards. These are typically pretty cheap, usually under $30. I have a dot card. It looks like this. It won't focus, but it looks like it's a very small card, it's just plastic. I think you could also get them in metal. And what it has is a QR code on it where you can basically build yourself out like this little, it's not exactly a website, but it's like a landing page for you. So I have my LinkedIn, I have the Skellig website, I have all kinds of stuff like that. So those can be really cheap and easy to get. I think mine was $20 off of Amazon. So if you're interested in digital cards, go for it. And they're really cool because what they do is they have an NFC, so you can just tap it to someone's phone and it will automatically open up that page. So you're not just going to throw your business card into someone's bag. They're going to actually be able to add you as a contact in their phone. They're going to be able to add you on LinkedIn. They're going to be able to actually get in touch with you afterward. If you don't have a business card, don't worry. Now, whenever you go to these events, you usually get a badge like this. So as you can see, it has my name on it. You probably can't see in this lighting, but it also has my company name on it. And it has a QR code here. Whenever you speak to people at their booths, they can scan your badge and it gives them your information that you use to register for the conference. And they can actually just send you an email afterwards. It's not my preferred method because I like to connect with people on LinkedIn personally, and it's just easier. And I also get a lot of spam email, but we'll go into that later. Not just business cards, but if you're there to represent your company, like sometimes if I go somewhere representing Skellig, we actually have a QR code for Skellig that we give out at usually Industry 4.0 events. If you've been to any events where maybe you've seen Amy Williams, she has a QR code business card that just takes you straight to our Industry 4.0 page on the Skellig website and also some other info. You want to make sure you check with your company and see if they have anything that they want you to bring. Another thing you want to bring is your resume, but be cautious. There are going to be career opportunities at these events, and a lot of people take advantage of meeting people from all over the country as they go to these tech shows and they interview with new companies. But everyone goes to these tech shows, and especially in the life sciences industry, this is a really small industry. So just be careful, don't go up and ask for an interview if your boss is 10 people behind you or something. You'll want to make sure that you dress nicely. Now, you'll see people dressed all kinds of ways. You see people in jeans, you see people in like really formal business attire. I personally like to put a bit of myself into my outfits. You can't tell from this. It's cold in here today, but I usually wear like a leather jacket. I've got some boots that I like to wear, but I wear that with business clothes. But I wear all that together and then no one looks at me sideways. You'll also want to check with your company if you're already working for someone to make sure that they don't have a dress code for you at industry events. And obviously, if you're going to be interviewing, wear interview attire. I'd say bring a notebook and pen because you're going to be talking to people and taking a lot of notes, but trust me, you're going to find free notebooks and pens literally everywhere. That being said, you might want to bring a tote bag. You might find one of those really fast too. Lots of companies give them out for free, but you will come across a lot of swag. Companies love to bring swag to these. This can range from, like I said, notebooks and pens. At Interfex in New York City this year, I got a wireless charger, so that was cool. I also encountered some really nice guys from another company who, seeing that I didn't have a tote bag and needed help, they had a messenger bag that they gave me with their company's name on it, and they kind of saved the day. You'll also want to bring a power bank because the chances of you finding an open outlet are very slim. These exhibitor halls are huge. You might be lucky, and if your event that you're going to has separate rooms, there might be an outlet in there, but you're not going to be the only person. They might have some charging stations set up, but everyone's going to be using those. So if you're like me and you need something for your phone because your battery is always awful, then be sure to bring just a portable power bank with you. You'll also want to make sure that you wear comfortable shoes. I wore the wrong shoes to an event recently, and trust me, I regretted it. Finally, you want to make sure that you keep track of your map. Whenever you go into these events, they're going to give you a map when you check in. So keep track of it. You may not need it immediately. It's mostly just a bunch of little boxes with numbers on them. However, you're going to want it later whenever you meet someone and they say, meet me at booth number, whatever, then you have to find it. So good luck otherwise. So now that we've covered what you want to bring with you, let's cover what you should expect at these if you've never been to one before. Things haven't changed all that much since industry events before COVID, but if you've never been to one, you may not know what you're walking into. Personally, I like to go for the exhibitor hall. Depending on the size of the convention, you may have hundreds of exhibitors. The show that I went to in New York City had 400 something, I think. You can easily fill 3 days by walking around and just talking to everyone. More than exhibitors, you're also going to run into panels. Now, these may range from very, very broad. They may cover massive industry topics, or they may be very, very niche. I remember in one of my recent shows, they were doing really targeted stuff for particular proteins, and the room was full. So even if it doesn't apply to what you do, it definitely applies to someone in the industry. Feel free to sit in on any of them. I've never felt unwelcome at any of the panels, and sometimes you can ask people questions, or you may just find something new that you're interested in. As for the exhibitors themselves, you're going to see a ton of stuff. Companies love to bring their cool tech and their cool equipment to these. At Interfex in New York City, I saw clean room technology that I'd never seen before with really cool doors. Another company who came had this magnetic conveyor belt system that they brought, and it was really visually interesting. It definitely drew a crowd. Not all companies bring their new equipment. Some companies are just there to talk about the company. They're there to talk about what they do, what their mission is. Sometimes they want to talk about their company values, or they just want to make new connections. That being said, these events are full of people that you will see over and over again if you stay in the same industry. Whenever I go to these, I always see people that I used to work with. It doesn't matter where it is. So in New York City, I saw people that I had worked with in Boston, and I also saw people that I had worked with in Kansas. So there are people just all over the country traveling in to these events, and the industry itself is very small. I know that I keep saying that, but it's really important to kind of press the point. I was talking to an old supervisor of mine, and they talked about how they saw someone who had burned bridges with them a few years ago. They stressed the importance of being nice and not burning bridges in small industries like these, because everyone works with everyone at one point or another. The exhibitors will also often have raffles, depending on what state you're in. These raffles are usually fish bowls or another container that you put your business card into, and then they draw on a specific day, and you have to be there, or they'll mail it to you, whatever the prize is. Sometimes these prizes can be really cool. I've seen books. I won a TV once, but they aren't for free. Nothing ever comes for free. So even though you may have won something, or if you didn't, what you're usually doing is you're signing up for their mailing list. They will have a sign that says you're signing up for marketing materials whenever you do this. So once you put your business card in, these companies are going to email you until the end of time, either until you opt out, or like me, you just ignore it forever. And you have an inbox full of emails for products that you don't need for what you do specifically. I'm never going to need clean room technology in what I do. This also counts for scanning your badge for more information, like we talked about earlier. Though from the events that I've been to, I haven't received a lot of marketing emails from those, usually just a follow-up. This is getting better in the industry in my personal experience. I'm sure other people have other experiences though, so your mileage may vary. You're going to meet people from all over the world, and so it's a really good place to meet new people and make new connections, and also it's a great place to join groups. Maybe you want to join the ISPE or the Society for Women Engineers or something like that. But if you do connect with someone, be sure to follow up with them. I've been really bad about it in the past, and it's something I've gotten better at now that I'm in communications. But I strongly recommend that you follow up with people within 2 weeks or so after leaving the conference. That way you can actually build those connections, because the industry is small, of course. And what that means is that whenever you're looking for a new job, these people might be able to help you out. And if you're credible with them, then they will want to speak to you. People are going to be more likely to offer jobs in the industry to those that they've met before. A lot of these events also do free headshots. Now this I've seen At almost every event I've ever been to, there will be a booth where they just take it and they send it to you. These can be great if you don't already have a good LinkedIn profile picture, so be sure to take advantage of it. They may also have free resume reviews, so be sure to take advantage of that as well. Just remember my advice from earlier, you don't want to do it in front of your boss. You'll also run into a lot of extracurricular activities. So a lot of companies might invite other people out to dinner, or they may be trying to court new clients, or they just want to get to know you better as a person or a potential candidate. So if you're looking to get to know some people in the industry better, definitely look out for opportunities to go to dinner with everyone. They often do really nice dinners, so it can definitely be worth your time. Just don't drink too much. Finally, you're going to hear a lot of buzzwords. Every few years, there's something new. As you might expect, right now it's artificial intelligence. That's a huge one. You'll also hear Industry 4.0 kind of used as a buzzword, not because it inherently is, but because people like to put that label on things that it doesn't necessarily apply to. And you will also hear a lot of frustration about that in general. People don't like something called AI if it isn't AI. People don't like something called Industry 4.0 if it's not. Amy Williams has a great video on Industry 3.0 masquerading as 4.0, so be sure to check that out too. I remember when I started in industry, the buzzword was big data. That changed. It went from big data to neural networking to machine learning, and now it's artificial intelligence. For most people, there's not a lot of difference between these, so just be aware of what the new industry buzzword is and expect to hear it a lot. So that's all I have to say about what to expect at industry events. You can expect to see me at plenty of them this year, so if you run into me, say hello. And for those of you who I met at Interfex and the AI Expo who have already been watching our YouTube channel, thank you very much for watching. Be sure to click like and subscribe, and soon I'll come back and I'll talk about a couple of these industry events in more detail. Thank you.